Nice haircut. Luca Nation, episode 621 of Luca's Tigers
7.
and Bronze.
Don't cheat me out of 100 episodes.
721.
Sheesh. That's a lot of episodes.
I got notes for days. I got a ton of things to talk
Ooh,
to
you
guys
prepared?
about.
All right, we got to stop recording. I need to go prepare. I can't not prepare. If you're prepared.
Well, I've prepared for previous episodes, Cage.
Oh, you're not supposed to tell me. Now I feel like I'm not. I feel unprepared. There's no other word. I feel like I'm not pulling my weight here, and that's a lot of weight.
Have you felt that way?
No, not at all, not ever. But I just figured, you're prepared. I got to make a big deal about it.
Well, it's outlined. It's like throughout a day, and not different days in the hobby are different, but like throughout the day, there's a bunch of different things that come up, whether it's like NBA trades, Avalanche. Shout out to you, brother. That was a great call on the Avalanche. And my dad was watching. He's a big hockey fan. He's like, these guys they just look faster than the rest of the players. Although I don't understand the game that well because they were like arguing about a penalty, and then that guy like slashed the other guy. I have no idea what's going on.
It's slippery soccer with sticks.
They are incredible athletes, man. There was one guy who made a pass, stopped on the dot, did a pirouette, and then kept skating. And I was like, and that's like,
here's the thing. Colorado perfected the art of having more players on the ice than the other team did and not getting caught. That's the difference.
I don't get it. What do you mean?
During the shift change, during the line change, Colorado would always have a guy heading towards the goal. There'd be an extra guy, defense didn't know who to cover, and boom. You're supposed to get on and off as quickly as possible.
They were winning a second. They were winning a second with that move. Like he wasn't fully on the bench, but the other guy was like 3 yards out.
I mean, after they got away with it and scored a game-winning goal, and in overtime, and obviously the team called it out, but it's not a reviewable play. The refs were looking for it, and I forget what game it was in. It might have been game 4, maybe game 5. Game 5. They got called for it. They actually had 7 guys, 7 skaters out there. It's 2 extra.
And they missed it?
Bing, bing, bing. No, they called it. They called that one. They got that one. But no, let's not. I'm making a joke of it, obviously, because that happens. During the line change, it happens. But yeah, the Avalanche, man. I mean, why I was on them was they just looked like the more complete team during the year. Lightning is great, man, and obviously championship pedigree. And they got there. And some real close games, overtime games, real, 1 goal, easy, could have gone the other direction. You know
what I love? Other sport can you get scored on, complain about the goal, and get so pissed you just slash the other guy's stick.
Yeah. I mean,
and that's not even a penalty. They're just like, this guy's pissed.
And they fight, too.
Fighting's cool, but he's just slashed him. Or the guy that his skate came off from the puck hitting his skate. Jesus Christ.
Listen, you got to be careful. Sometimes they fight with the sticks. I mean, Carl Racky took out somebody's eye.
You're talking about Role Models, the movie. That was hilarious. Paul Rudd, super funny.
No, it was, yeah, but Carl Racky wasn't in that movie. But I know what scene you're talking about. But I'm talking about Youngblood. Dean Youngblood had to go back. He had to go back to the gym. He had to learn how to fight.
Your hair gel's getting recalled this last week?
No, I got a haircut. Today. I got a haircut today. I haven't. I literally just got back from the haircutting place. I haven't had a chance.
Clay. You're not using the clay this week.
I hadn't had a chance to go shower. This is what the guy left in my hair from the hair. I literally am coming on this episode from this. When I shower, I'll get the hair out of here and stuff like that, and then I'll put my glue back in it.
Ask him. I just figured out our business idea. So there's a guy. So we're getting a ton of cards sent to us for submission and whatnot. And we're prepping, and I'm learning. I'm very curious by nature, and some people put stuff on the surface of cards, right?
Yeah.
And I don't actually know if there's protocol or what's legal, what's not about what you can put on. I know some people use kind of scratch off for the slabs, and that also works for the cards. But Cage, your own hair product.
Yeah, a hair product that you can use on cards.
It's better than anything that you're using right there. Your hair product is better than that hairdresser's.
Oh, definitely. They put like a wax in it. It's already worn. It's already wore off. But it is what it is. It's okay. It's all good stuff.
Let's start there. Where do you stand on that? On
glue versus gel versus wax.
Yes.
I mean, I'm a glue guy, you know. I mean, they have concrete that lasts. I mean, you know, Mari's wigs have to stand up against hurricane wind.
Where are you on the scratch off stuff on cards, like shiny cards, not paper?
I mean, as long as you're not altering the card itself, I'm okay with it. Okay, so if somebody's gonna, you know, take a rag to a card or clean a card without actually altering the card. So, you know, if people are taking like, you know, they have a shiny thing, right, that could take scratches out of your car paint. And it really is just like filling in the paint, right? Like breaking it down and then refilling it in. That I don't think is cool. That I don't think is kosher. I'm sure you can get it past a grater because, you know, if there's a little scratch, fill the scratch in and the whole deal. That I think goes beyond what should be allowed. Just because that is what the acceptable standard is for the hobby. You believe it or not, you've opened up without knowing what you're doing a humongous can of worms that we could do like a 7-episode series on, comparing this to other types of collectibles and asset classes, and whether or not restoration is something that
Right.
should be allowed in the hobby, like it is with comics, and then labeling it, and like it is with artwork, and then labeling it, and what type of restoration, and you know, how do you have to say whether it's restored. And I mean, right now the hobby doesn't accept what a lot of other things do, like comics or artwork. And I got to tell you, as a you know, a self-proclaimed hobby purist, yeah, I mean, I think you can dust a card off. I think you can, you know, clean a card off. I think, you know, if you want to, you know, like, you know, make sure that there's nothing, you know, take a little microfiber cloth to a card and clean off the dust and, you know, a fingerprint or something like that. But once you start messing with the card itself, I think that we've now crossed a line.
And remember, this could only happen from 1993 on, right? You can't really do this with vintage cards.
Of course you can. You can restore a card. I mean, you can't rub fluid on it to get rid of scratches.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
And guys, all this started because now that we sell more on Whatnot, and it kind of a few things, we see more cards, and some slabs are scratched, right? And they want to send the slab back to PSA or SGC to get, because I mean that matters, and sometimes it really gets scratched up. So there's this stuff on Amazon called Novus. It's like pristine, clean, and shine. $25. So one of the cards I sent had some scratches on the front of the slab, and community member is like, no problem. Let's see what I could do with this. He had the Novus stuff, and it took the scratches right off. I was like, well, that's kind of crazy. So it took it off the plastic. Let me learn. Do people do that with cards? And apparently they do.
They most definitely do. I personally have never done it.
I'm curious. What do you guys think about that, right? So comics are restored. I think comics are even like...
but they're labeled as restored.
Labeled as art is restored, also labeled as restored?
Yeah, and there are cards that are restored also. And they are labeled as restored. Like there's a Honus Wagner out there that is a gorgeous copy, but it was restored. You know, when they talk about like they put the paper back in it, like they tried to make it, you know, as much of a match of the type of, you know, card stock that the T206s have. You can take a look. As a matter of fact, if you want to, just type in Google Honus Wagner restored, and I'm pretty sure it's labeled as restored. But you know, as far as acceptance in the hobby, no. And that's different. What most people, when we talk about like restoration in the hobby or alteration in the hobby, people talk about not labeling it as such. You know, people do like chemical peels on cards. I've seen Mickey Mantle where the background is a completely different color. I've owned Mickey Mantles where the background is a completely different color because somebody did like a chemical peel to it to get the dirt and whatnot off of it. And there you go. Authentic. Restored. It says it right on the slab, right? I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember this one. It's a nice card. I mean, they could have done this to
this right here or where? What they
like, probably some paper loss. It'll tell you. You know, it'll probably tell you in the article. But you know, somebody. I mean, you don't want to restore the whole thing, but like somebody just bought that half of a Honus Wagner. There's a huge debate we could have with like, you know, 50 people, and 25 would go one way and 25 would go the other. You could take that half of Honus Wagner and send it to like a professional restoration where they restore art and the whole deal. It costs a lot of money, and then restore it to make it look like that. And maybe it sells for more than what you paid for the half Wagner and the cost to restore it. Maybe people like the look of it. I don't know. You know, I don't know what to tell you. But I think what you're talking about
is we have thousands of listeners. I think they'll tell us what they think. They always give us their feedback and their comments. I like kind of polling the audience.
The where it gets a slippery slope is messing with cards and then just trying to get it past a grader. You know what I mean? That's where it becomes an interesting thing. Like
I'm gonna restore a base Prism Cam Reddish, and I'm gonna write restored on the front with a little post-it note.
That would be great. You should do it with Bol cards too.
You buying?
Bol only restored ones. Like that's
a
my
complete set.
That's where I roll.
Let me
restored ones.
Let me popcorn to you since I have my topics. Anything that stuck out to you today, this weekend? We haven't chopped and done an episode in about a week.
No, I made a little joke out there. Everybody likes my bicycle with the split tires. I made a little joke about like there's more apps and more, whatever it is than we need. Maybe I'm trying to force that consolidation that we've all talked about coming in the hobby this year because maybe it's just I'm worried about people who are coming out with apps now. Not that I should be worried about like eBay coming out with a live selling app in a vault. I mean, eBay's okay. They'll probably be fine if it doesn't work. But it's weird where the hobby's going through an interesting time here with, different varied sales. And
what triggered that post?
I saw the bicycle video and thought it was funny. It was a total like a project of like, what the hell is this? Talk about like trying to correct a problem that, that doesn't exist. And then I saw immediately following, like within 2 minutes, an advertisement for eBay's vault. And I was like, what? Like, if anybody buys on eBay, they could send it to 5 other vaults.
I thought the bicycle was hilarious. I disagree with you vehemently. I think we need more of everything.
More bicycles like that? You want that bicycle?
Yeah. No, I think we need more. I think more competition is good. I'll give you an example.
But is it really competition? Where's Dibs?
Those are two different questions, and my brain gets put in a pretzel. Where's Dibs?
Are they still around? I don't even know.
Well, dude, cease and desist. You're really gonna put this on me my day back? You want me to start? Fine.
No. That was an honest question.
Dibs
I don't know.
Dibs was a confusing model from day one. I don't even know if the employees who work there understood how it worked.
So, I mean,
they're amazing people. Shout out to Dibs for sponsoring our show, customer acquisition. They paid out our NFT holders $95 a piece. Welcome, enjoy. I couldn't even take that money because I was like, I don't even know how this works.
Right. Well, I guess my point on that is there's a million apps coming out now as the hobby is kind of doing one of these. That's not really competition. I mean, it's easy to say competition.
What was a burger joint in like the 40s? Like McDonald's could be like, where was Frenchie's? But just because Frenchie's didn't exist doesn't mean that they weren't competition. Like competition isn't only when you get to a certain point.
But would you try to open a fast food Wendy's, Burger King, McDonald's joint right now?
Yeah, Chick-fil-A did, and they dominated.
They don't sell burgers. What are you even talking about?
You said fast food joint, and then you switched burgers.
Burger. Would you open a fast food Wendy's type of...
Shake Shack did.
Oh, my God. Shake Shack is very different, but okay, that's fine. I see it's going to be one of those episodes.
How are you going to add the adjective very and act like it's very different when it's identical? Except it has 1%.
Shake Shack is the same as McDonald's?
I think it's 99% the same.
When was the last time you had McDonald's?
3 months ago.
Yeah, see, that's. I mean, you're a bad sample. You're a bad sample.
Statute of limitations.
Yeah, you are clearly. You clearly are not.
Menu every month.
You clearly are not qualified to testify about McDonald's and whether or not they're similar in any way to Shake Shack. No, not true. Negative. Okay. So give me a hobby.
I don't understand how we're 720 episodes in and you get messages that you're revered in the hobby and this is your mindset. It makes no sense to me. They're identical. They both sell burgers and fries at speed.
Yes. I would think that people would probably put them in a different category of food style.
Please light him up. Light him up. Take shots
McDonald's
fired. Light him up
like,
in the comments. Don't go easy on him, guys. He gets so many nice comments.
How long do you wait at McDonald's for your burger? And how long do you wait at Shake Shack for your burger? It's a good question, right? It's a good one, right? They're very similar.
10 minutes, McDonald's is 3.
McDonald's was like 36 seconds because they're cooking by light bulb. You know, I mean, like, it's not even the same sport.
All right, I'll Cronkite this back onto the track. And how crazy is this? So I'm buying a BGS. I'm buying a Silver Edwards Prism today. Okay.
Why?
I'm like, do you want to really know why? Okay, so
No, I asked because I don't want you to tell me.
that was rhetorical and sarcastic simultaneously.
Yes.
But why is it was in a DCI 10 holder, and I've never seen any DCI 10s. So I was like, dude, and you know I love this shit, man. I love testing. I was like, this could be a black label. I've never seen a DCI 10. This would be a card to go to BGS.
Really? We've never seen a DCI 10?
Very few and far between. Not in a card that mattered. So I was like, this could be a black label. And then I went and I was like, okay, how many BGS 10s are there? None. Or according to Alt and Card Ladder, none. How many black labels? None. How many 9.5s? 37.
Mm-hmm.
No one even grades the card that would always get graded by PSA and BGS and SGC. And
this is a silver.
A Silver Prism. Just a basic rookie. It's gone. Now we don't send to BGS anymore. 37 9.5s on a modern card?
How many does SGC have?
I'll look that number up right now.
But yeah, I mean, listen, this was part of the whole craziness of grading in the last 2 years, man. You know, people didn't know where to send stuff to. They couldn't send it to PSA. You still would have a hard time sending that card to PSA.
So 9s, 77 SGC 9s and 47 SGC 10s. And let me see if I don't see a 9.5 here on there it is a card. And 116 9.5s. SGC.
All right, so significantly more graded with SGC than BGS.
Yeah, 792 9s in PSA. And a few hundred, 730 PSA 10s. But think about this, dude. This is the number 1 or number 2 prospect in the main release. You don't even have them on his cards on Card Ladder because his cards in a BGS slab on Card Ladder. And how and you guys know I've never been a big BGS guy. Never. Not even before or after we were sponsored by any grading company. If you go back, that's been my one rhetoric. Remember this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I sure think it's healthy for the hobby to have these BGS black labels or people chasing BGS 10s. You know, I do. I think it's good.
I agree. You know, the BGS 10, the gold, the black, you know, they do provide some level of, you know, something above a PSA 10, right?
It's fun. It's a chase.
Creates additional scarcity where there is no scarcity. Yeah.
So
what's your point, though, that if Beckett is not doing a good enough job and Beckett continues to falter, that then the valuation or collectability of their 10s also falter? I mean, where are we going?
This wasn't a BGS thing. I just loved having, from a customer standpoint, when you buy Raw, you know, some people, Raw has always been priced differently, like off-centered Raw or dinged Raw.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't sell as well as like, this is a perfect card, right? Sometimes you buy what's a perfect card and you'd be like, let me go shoot for the best possible grade. Now I'm kind of thinking, do I go for the SGC gold label, you know, with this card? But that used to be a BGS black label or even a BGS 10 because, all right, I got this card for $300. A regular Edwards Silver Prism ungraded is about $200, $220. So I'm paying 50% more than markup. But I know that it's a DCI 10 accredited. I trust their grading. I've watched it. So it's like I'm paying a premium for probably one of the best copies of this card. I want to attack and go and take a chance with one of the best possible grades I could get. But that's kind of gone because I don't know if SGC gold labels have the premium that a black label has yet. So for me, from a customer standpoint, that top tier echelon that, you know, maybe 2x or 3x a PSA 10 is gone. So I don't even know if it's worth it to buy that card.
Okay. Sounds good. I mean,
right. You're a PSA snob, so you don't grade with BGS. Let's go back
I mean, I don't remember the last time I tried to do the whole raw or cracking or any of those things with grading. And I think it really is I don't call it an indictment, but it really is a commentary on where the hobby is versus where it was a long time ago. I think a lot of what was fun, even the stuff you're talking about, right? A lot of what was fun about the hobby for people coming in was the ability to look for that raw card that you could grade. But then what were you going to do with it after you graded it? Most people were not buying a raw card to grade to keep. They were buying a raw card to grade to sell for more than they paid for the raw card and the grading fee. You'd fish.
I would fish. If I got a BGS 10 or BGS Black Label in the card, I would fish. I would. It's the only one in the world, right?
Okay.
I would see. Well, if a PSA 10's $1,000, how much would Edwards collectors pay for a Black Label of a silver?
Right. I understand that. I guess that there's not a lot of people doing that anymore. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of people doing it. I think it's worth the try. I think what you're saying, though, is maybe that's the only corner of that whole buy raw or cracking, you name it, gamble that's left. Because it used to be, hey, every Edwards raw you send out. You turn a raw card that was $5, $10, $15, $20, $25 plus some grading fee, and you sell it for $100, $150 for the raw, for the PSA 10 base. Then the silver. But people aren't doing that anymore. But just not.
But what did you just buy? You just bought a BGS 10.
Correct.
You didn't buy a PSA 10. Why did you buy BGS 10, Cage?
Because, like I said, that the gold label and the black label on BGS create a level of scarcity above a PSA 10 on certain cards. Yeah.
Would that apply to the silver?
I think it does. Because that card is, it's the opposite of rare. I mean, there's no shortage of those cards, so you're creating a level of scarcity. And if the PSA 10 has a couple hundred of them, and there's only one or two black labels, sure, it becomes like, the Kobe Bryant refractor, right? Where what are there, 3 of those, black label or in 10 or whatever it is, it becomes like a much more expensive card than the PSA 10. Right? Yes.
You miss me, don't you?
I mean, this one's a little interesting. You think there should be more apps? I think there should be less. You want to buy a DCI 10 to try to get a Beckett 10 out of it, but we don't know whether or not you're actually buying the card or did buy it, or whether you've already sent it to Beckett.
I just finalized the deal, but I didn't pay, so the deal's not done yet. We're doing a vouch post.
Nice. You need someone to vouch for you?
The guy needs someone to vouch for him.
Okay. All right, good.
I'm a friends and family guy. I like to give value to the seller, but if you have like 10 vouchers, like 10 people to say you're legit.
So just so that I know, what does a DCI 10 Edwards silver go for? And I asked this for a reason, right?
300. I would say.
And how does that compare to like a PSA 10?
PSA 10's $800. 750 to 800.
So what you're banking on is that DCI is so detailed on their grading that this 10 could potentially get you something that's worth even more than that $800 PSA 10. All right, listen. I am curious to see how this turns out. It's a bold strategy.
I'm probably going to go SGC, and I'm going to bring it in. I'm going to ask them if they think this is a gold label. We do SGC subs every day. I was just there today dropping off almost 100 cards for you guys. So
while you're there, ask them.
Sliding into Cage's DMs who don't think our intro or outro for SGC is too long. Why don't you ask all the people that have benefited, that have had their cards sent back to them in 5, 10, 15 days graded, or that got free submissions through Luca Nation? Ask those people.
I think they just think the commercial's too long.
I think they suck.
Well, I mean, listen, it is what it is, man. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. That is the story of social media. That is the story of putting a podcast out there every day.
It might be the most dangerous invention in the human civilization. It might lead to our ruin.
But you find me one that's everyone likes, and I say that won't last. You can't have something that everybody likes. You can't.
Somehow you're becoming a man in the hobby, even with your
No way,
shocking
dude.
takes.
People hate me. There are people who hate me. I assume. I mean, I don't know any. But, I'm sure there's got to be people out there who hate me. There's got to be. Look, I'm wearing my WrestleMania shirt today because I did a podcast. I was a guest. It's not going to come out for a little while, but I was on a wrestling podcast today. When it's going to be posted, I'll let everybody know. This way they can go over there. And we got a compliment, especially you, about how you provide a great variety to the listening audience. And that, because we're out there every day, we're able to talk about almost everything from the real estate market to grading to baseball to wrestling sometimes to Pokemon to the whole deal. I think people are appreciative of that. I'm getting some fun comments, right? I mean, it seems like every time I post one of my box breaks where there's crap in it, people will come out of the woodworks in the comments like, you're only doing this because it's a down market. And I want to be like, yeah, I mean, I am doing it because it's a down market. My hope is that the boxes that I used to buy with my son for $100 that are now $400 will go back to 100 or maybe 200. And by showing people that what I just got is worth $12, I wouldn't be as angry if I was paying $100 for that. I'd still be upset, right? But what did I get in those boxes that I could even try to grade, that I could even try to sell, right? And the best comment I got, I'll popcorn with butter, home style, maybe like a sweet and salty kettle corn popcorn, back to you. You ready? Is sports betting or opening cards? Which would you rather do and why? Opening boxes of wax versus sports betting. Let's just say you had $500. You could buy a $500 box of Panini or Topps or put $500 on some sports bets.
I think it may be closer to horse racing is opening a box.
Why? Now I'm intrigued. Because this one, you're going to go very deep or you're not going to be able to justify this. So I'm curious where we're going to go. Horse racing. There's a favorite that you can bet on. There's a long shot you can bet on. You can't really do that in boxes. They don't mark the boxes. This one's going to pay, without long odds. This one won't have a 1 of 1 in it. But chances are it's going to do.
Sports bet or open a pack of cards? But what pack?
Any $500
opening flawless. I know what the prize is. In a lot of these, you don't even know what the prize is.
But it's the same, right? They each have prizes. A $500 box has a prize that's got a value of basically 1/25th of what the flawless prize is by value, because the flawless box is going to cost you 25 times as much to enter and buy that box, right? Obviously,
but like Flux, you know what I mean? Like Flux.
Yeah, but Flux still has 1 of 1s of all the rookies. It still has autographs. It still has the stuff. I understand what you're saying. The flawless has a defined chase of a LeBron logo man or whatever it is. But
that there's going to be a market for.
Okay. But I mean, flawless is a different category. That's like saying, I'm going to go to a casino and only do high stakes blackjack, $1,000 a hand, or only bet in the $1,000 slot machines. The Flux is more like the $5 slot or the $2 slot or whatever.
I would rather sports bet, but that's a touchy subject. I haven't sports bet in months, maybe 3 months.
Well, here's how I took it, and let me tell you. Let me hear what you think. Right?
Maybe even a little longer than that.
I would say a couple years ago, I would have said breaking wax 100 times out of 100, and here's why: sports betting is an all or nothing proposition. You bet on the Yankees, you're either going to win or you're going to lose. Okay, you're either going to double your money or you're going to have zero. The argument for cards was that no matter what, you're getting something. You're going to, quote, be able to recoup a piece of your investment. You could do better. You could even do more than double. You could knock it out of the park. It's almost like a scratch-off ticket, right? So there's many levels to the box of cards, right? You get 10x out of that. Hell, if you were somebody who bought a $1,400 break spot, you were able to buy, blah, 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 get a logo man and, sell for $2.4 million. Levels. My take now is different because if I'm opening a $500 box, for me to get that humongous hit, that 10x, the odds are like 0.1%. All right. For me to double up, which in sports betting, the odds are 50-50, right? For me to double up on a box of Prism or whatever it is at the price they are, $1,000 a box, I probably have like a 1 in 5 shot of doubling up. I'm just picking that out of thin air, just from my own opening perspective. Maybe it's 1 in 4, maybe it's 1 in 6, right? But it's not. But what used to make it okay to still open was, all right, fine, you could double. That means 1 in 5 you're gonna double, 2 in 5 you're gonna break even, the other 2 in 5 you're gonna lose. 1 in 5 you lose half, and the other 1 in 5 is a real shitty box. You get 25% back. I'd be like, all right, you know what? That's better to me than sports betting, because I know I'm going to get at least 25% back. Chances are I'm getting at least half back. And if I do okay, I'm gonna make some money here. If I do okay, I'm gonna break even.
But
maybe
now
make
if you do good or okay, you get like 20% back.
Now I think the average box, I think like 80% of the time you're gonna get back 10% of what you open in a box, because the price is so much, they're printing so much, that the odds of you getting a box with something good in it have gone down, because there's so much more being made. There's so much filler. There's so much Colin Powell, the general from the Desert Storm, who also happens to play for Kansas City, whose auto I got. I think that's his name. And the other redemption, I never even heard of the defensive guy. I got a redemption for a defensive player. Why, Panini? Because they need to stick a bunch of shit in a lot of boxes. Now the pendulum has swung to the other side, and 80% of the time you get Ugats. Redemption for Ugats. You get nothing. So I'd rather sports bet.
We got Zhang Zhu, blue circles. I can't sell it on Panini Direct. Can't do it. Zhang Zhu, Dallas Mavs. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, man, he's tall. He's a tall
Actually,
dude.
not as tall as you think. 6'8", according to ESPN.
That's tall for me. He's much taller than I am. No, but I think people should understand what I'm saying, right? I mean, that was one of those things that made cards attractive to people, right? Opening cards. But you have the thing moving in so many different directions. You have the price point moving up, which if all else stayed equal, that's going to move the percent chance of you breaking even down, because the price is moving up. So if a box goes from 200 to 400, your odds, which used to be 50-50, are now 25%.
But not necessarily. Not during the era of Zion and Ja. When their base cards were selling pretty well. If you hit a Zion or Ja,
I've said that. It's the Za era.
If you even hit a base of those guys, you could grade it and recoup your entire investment. And if you hit a silver, you could sell that raw and recoup.
Yeah, same thing. I mean, Topps box, buy a hobby box of $85, and you took $8 a pop and put your Yordan Alvarez, your Gavin Lux, your whoever else is in it. You spent another $50 grading, 6 cards. You got your money back, even if you didn't get a hit, a great auto, or a Mike Trout numbered card. You were able to find a way to recoup. You can't do that because the amount of stuff being printed increases. Now, I'm not talking about Flawless, right? But Flawless is not – I've never opened a box of Flawless. I would venture to say that most of the people here haven't opened up a box of Flawless. But here's my next swing of this, right? It's, does this bode well for breaking? Because previously, and this is where my brain went when I got asked this question about, should I sports bet or break wax? I break boxes. I used to break cases. And by the way, when I did cases, I always found a way to, like, 3 boxes in, 4 boxes in, there was a hit that took care of the last 2 shitty boxes, right? Interesting, right? But I can't break cases now. That was when I was doing UFC. It was too much money. A case used to be $1,000. Now you can't even get a box of good stuff for that. Anyway, breaking. Is that a way where you are at least are limiting your gamble? You're limiting your what's at risk, right? You're buying a team, right? You're not putting $500. You can get into a case. Does it now make it more of a home run gamble? Is it now not sports betting? It's more of like scratch off ticket, where we're okay with the odds of a scratch-off ticket because you got a chance to really hit something major in it. Chances are you're going to lose. Chances are you're going to lose your money. But people still do scratch-offs. Sometimes I can't buy a coffee at 7-Eleven because the line for scratch-offs is so long. You know,
You should not be going to 7-Eleven for your coffee.
It's true. Should be making coffee at home.
McDonald's actually has really good coffee.
I've been told this. How's Shake Shack's coffee?
I was gonna get it today, but I was like, I'm not eating that shit right now.
So, in any event, is that the next evolution of this? Have we started to see that already? And is that what survives and thrives in the next chapter of the hobby book being written? Yeah, tell me. I'm tired of talking.
I've been kind of thinking of going to break for a little while.
Nice.
Because I want to learn, man. I don't like it. I don't like it conceptually, that fact that I win and they lose, the audience loses. But I don't know enough. Like, breaking has a lot of nuance, like team breaks. I mean, just there has a lot of nuance and stuff that I have no clue. You know, I've never really been in a break. I joined Pole Man's break 2 weeks ago for fun, just to support the kid. Little Pole Man, the little kid.
You watched the Marvel break, but you were not in your right frame of mind for that.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I don't know enough about breaking. I was like, everyone keeps talking about breaking. These big businesses are even thinking like, I'm going to open up a break studio in the front. I'm like, why? But if everyone's doing it, I think it would either they're all idiots. That's possible. It's entirely possible. No. Or there's something there that I don't see, and I won't be able to see it because I have blinders on because I'm not in that industry. So you have to go and taste and learn. So, dude, I have no idea because I've never done it. But I'm tempted and I'm curious.
Well, I mean, you'd always try it, right? You always try something out. I mean, the big time breakers that are making money are the ones that have cultivated an audience doing it and have obviously a following, and that's the key because there are breakers who try it. You watch.
Yeah, but gun to my head, Cage, right now. Gun to my head. I don't even know how they make money. I don't even know the different types of breaks. So like, you're like, you look like that, but I don't think they make money on every single case. It's not like an even distribution of how much they make per case, right?
It depends how they're selling it, right? If they're pre-selling it and they're doing, basically think of it this way. Let's just make it easy for the sake of math here. Don't make it a humongous case break, whatever it is. Just to say let's just live in a universe where a box of Flawless costs $1,000. Okay, let's just call it Flawless or call it Goldberg, whatever. Doesn't matter.
But even there, that's what's off.
We're dealing in widgets.
A box of Flawless costs $1,000. From where?
So let's say it costs the breaker $1,000 just for the sake of doing this, right? The breaker's cost is $1,000.
And did he buy 10 cases or he only has one?
Let's just say for the sake of our widget conversation right now, Dr. Barbet, one box in their hands, one box, $1,000. Okay, that's what they have. They have a box of football. Okay, do you know how many? Football. Do you know how many divisions there are in football?
8, maybe.
8. Well done. 8. Okay. What the breaker can do, and this is just one of many, but what the breaker can do with that is they can sell 8 spots, each spot going to a division. Okay. Now, some divisions are better than others, so they can sell them for more. They can do what's easier, just for the sake of our thing, a randomly assigned division. So they'll sell 8 spots, and each of the people who buy those 8 spots will get one of those 8 divisions randomly assigned to them. How much do they have to sell those spots for? We don't want you doing math, but if you divided 1,000 by 8, it's $125. Okay. So as long as they price it ahead of time at more than $125, they will not lose money. It's got to be $150.
But there's a few different even models within that, right? Like, does the breaker work for the breaking company, or is it his own business?
Well, that's very, very different. You know what I mean? That's internal breaking models. But breaking in and of itself, it's random player, random team, case break, box breaks, hybrid breaks, multiple different types of boxes that are you can do it however you want. But the premise there is you're buying something, you're splitting it up randomly to fill either by team, by player, by serial number.
Yeah, but I have millions of questions. Like,
Please.
would a breaker maybe price it at cost for a box like Flawless to have customer acquisition so that he grows his or her own channel, and then they make money on the kind of the lower end stuff? Or do they price the lower end stuff at cost and they make money on higher end?
I would
don't know.
say that the lower end stuff is probably the stuff they don't make as much profit on, but and probably are not, cutting their Flawless stuff at cost, because Flawless is not something that anybody can obtain. There are breakers out there who last year were making a living breaking Prism blasters and doing fine.
What about
not
scenarios
exactly
where your LCS called you with National Treasures football for like 5,200?
Yep.
But it was on the blowout for 48.
Yeah, the leak later for 4,800, you'd lose money there. But breakers
it went down lower to like 3,800, right?
So if that's the kind of breaker you want to be, where you're going to be sourcing product from a retail store and trying to break what you can buy at retail prices, you will not do well. You will not make money. The people who are making money are not going to my LCS and paying full retail for their cases or their boxes to then break at a markup price on something that's already been marked up. They either have allocations, they have a connection with a store, they are a store, they have a connection with a distributor, they've built up enough that they're getting enough product that they get it at a price that they can then mark it up. Because why would you break with someone like me at $6,000 for a box of National Treasures football if you could just go right now on Blowout or eBay and buy it for $4,200 yourself? You wouldn't.
Agree. So what's kind of your thesis here?
My thesis is that what we're seeing is people, the end consumer, instead of breaking wax themselves, they're going to be able to go to breakers and have more of that. Okay, I only want to risk $100. I'm not going to risk 500. I'm not going to break a box. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to buy a team. I'm going to buy a player. I'm going to get in a random. And it's going to be more acceptable because it's going to be more of a home run type of slot machine pull, scratch off ticket type thing. Whereas it used to be, I'm going to buy the box myself and hope to do okay in the box because people are just getting killed on the boxes.
Leah, go get the phone, please. Why don't they understand this? My mom, whenever we have the phone line ring at home, I say, Mom, why do you have this dedicated line? Like, we all have cell phones. Nobody calls phones anymore. And she's like, no, this is our family from Israel. They're calling. They only know this number. They don't know our cell phone numbers. All right, so breaking, Edward Silvers, BGS, all that stuff. The Logo Man bump. We didn't have a ton of opportunity to talk about the Logo Man bump. So when I was first getting into the hobby, it's maybe 2019. I was working at Gary's at this time. I bought 3 Giannis Prism bases. And everyone then in my little circle, so I don't know if this was the case, was talking about Logo Mans then. And for about 2 to 3 years, I hadn't heard Logo Man up until this LeBron Logo Man. But 2019, when I was getting in, everyone was like, what should I buy? I was like, dude, if you can afford it, get Logo Mans. Those are sick. Those are true one-of-ones. This was still when they were threaded Logo Mans, which I like. Some people kind of like the new ones. It doesn't matter. But and it made me think, I'm like, man, this hobby's so cyclical. And honestly, it's funny. Right after the Logo Man is when the base craze came.
I don't like Logo Man. My own personal take on it. I don't like the card.
But be honest with you, like for all people listening, you are very preferential in setting the way you invest. You don't
but everybody should be. Everybody should be. You know what I mean?
That's a different discussion.
It's your money and it's your collection. No, I guess what I'm saying is Logo Man feels forced.
But you don't like autos or patches really either. So like you're not the buyer.
I mean, I think what we're seeing now are patches and patch autos are a new thing. They're not what is nostalgic to me, which I think is I collect on nostalgia. So it's not nostalgic to me because there were no RPAs, right? Panini wasn't making National Treasures. Exquisite wasn't made yet. So yes, but
you're also not a one-of-one guy either.
One of the things I would buy a 1/1 if it wasn't $1 billion, and if I had a player that I really liked, I'd buy a 1/1.
But you've never been everyone has different styles. Like there
what
are
1/1
those guys
do you own?
No, relax, Kate.
Seriously, what 1/1 do you own? None, right?
What I'm talking about, some people chase like Herbert 1/1, right? Like
no, they don't. No one can afford a Herbert 1/1, dude. What are you talking about? They're thousands of dollars. No one's gonna chase a Herbert 1/1.
You're right. No one owns Herbert 1/1s.
No, I mean rich people own them, or people who get them in packs sell them for a ton of money. But if you're a random Herbert fan, I'm a Herbert collector, it's very difficult for you to get a Herbert 1/1.
Okay, man, you're absolutely right. So Spinatron doesn't chase 1/1s.
Spin is an interesting category. Spins his own little, his own little category of collector.
Spin has a collection. You have a collection. You just go about the way you collect differently, but both of your collections deserve a lot of respect.
Okay, gotcha. But you're right. I don't like RPAs. I don't like 1/1s. Point conceded. Continue.
But that could be the reason you don't like Logo Man. Not that it's really that forced. It's kind of cool, man.
No, I don't like Logo Man because I feel like it's being forced down my throat. Nobody's forcing 1/1s down my throat. 1/1, I understand the theory of a 1/1. Yeah, just right now. But we're talking about being cyclical, right? And Logo Man was not something that existed, right? So I feel like Logo Man.
Last 3 years, 2 years, we've talked to each other. You've never been a Logo Man buyer, and it wasn't shoved down anyone's throat. In fact, no one even talked about Logo Mans.
But Logo Man buyer. How many Logo Man do you think there are? So I mean, like, what does that mean? I'm not a Logo Man buyer. Are you a Logo Man buyer? You like them? Are you a buyer of a Logo Man? Have you ever known anyone to buy a Logo Man?
Definitely.
Who and what?
I would say my demo, 25 to 35, who's been in this hobby from a little earlier than everyone else that got into it. They're the ones that I've found have chased Logo Mans as a kind of like another version of an RPA, but a little more rare.
Okay.
Even if it's not the main guy. Like, I mean, we talked about Iguodala yesterday, Logo Man. I mean, there's quite a few. I mean, it doesn't have to be the main guy, but there are people that definitely like Logo Mans.
I'm sure there are. I happen to not be one of them. Seems to be getting some heat for that, but that's all right. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, to me, the Golden Auction was a great example, right? RPA LeBron out of 23. I would only hope to ever be able to obtain that type of a card. Gorgeous card. Sells for less than the LeBron Logo Man from this year. Less money. To me, I'd rather have the RPA. You're telling me that more people would rather have the triple Logo Man?
Definitely not.
The triple Logo Man sold for more.
It just takes one buyer.
Correct. So on that, you'd go with RPA instead of the triple Logo Man.
What's the question? So, like, when I said
which one would you rather have?
When I said that you're not a Logo Man buyer,
yeah,
that wasn't an insult. I would actually say it's a compliment, and the reason why it's a compliment is because you are a sophisticated buyer, you're a sophisticated investor, specifically where I think you are much more focused on nostalgia and does this have long-term value than can I show this off on Instagram? I think Logo Man is something that's very show-offable on digital and social media.
I get it, but I would also say I'm probably wrong. It depends on what your end goal of your collection is. Someone who buys a Logo Man, I believe, is not looking to hold that card forever. I believe they're looking to hold that card, show that card off, and hope that the craze continues to ride that wave, and maybe 6 months from now they're selling it for more than what they bought it for.
You're probably 100% right because I haven't been in this long enough. I've seen the cycle, but I don't know how it exactly plays out and who's the buyer. The cycle and watching, history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. I think you're absolutely right. Like I'm surprised in the hobby jersey number or first serial in very valuable cards isn't more sought after. I think that's super cool. But I think that's actually because it's a little harder to show off than Logo Man.
Yeah.
In Top Shot, that was like the thing. if you got a LeBron jersey number 23 Top Shot movement, that was like 6 to 10x more, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think in the NFT world, because everybody was operating under the fallacy that these are non-fungible. These Top Shots were all different, and the only thing that was really a differentiator in Top Shot was the serial number.
Correct. But with was it the number 23 that sold LeBron?
No, I think it was just out of 23.
It was just out of 23. Okay. I'm curious what the multiplier of a 23 number exquisite on the LeBron.
The 23 out of 99 sold for a lot. It definitely did have a
But what was the multiplier? Maybe 2x?
I think, yeah, probably 2x or maybe
but
even
not
less.
6x or 10x that we saw on NFT land.
I mean, now you're talking about 7 figures of difference, though. It's
a true one-of-one.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I understand. I mean, I get that.
And the logo man, in that same sense, is think about it. Let's use the Iguodala card. I don't know what an Iguodala one-of-one logo man is, but I'll venture to say it's 5 to 10x what just his normal base RPA is.
Isn't it just a different piece of a jersey?
Yes, it is.
I mean, that's the problem I have, with the logo man. There's no it's not a specific game.
What do you want? Jockstrap?
No, that's Andre the Giant and collectible. That's very different.
Isn't it just another piece of his jersey? No, this one is the Nike Dry Fit under compression shorts.
Well, I guess if that's the thing, dude, because I think about it, you've already seen it start to happen. Okay, so now it's the logo man on the jersey, right? And then, okay, well, what about the laundry tag? And then it's the Nike swoosh. And then it's a piece of the sneaker and a piece of the glove. And, which one's going to be the one that people are chasing, after next year or in 2 years? I guess it just becomes one of those things where
it's
the hobby
driven.
It became a little too fickle for me. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, the laundry tag is the second best one. Who says? What does that even mean? The laundry tag is the second best one. It's National Treasure. No, Flawless is better. Flawless.
You old heads in the hobby are way too fucking sensitive. I gotta be honest. Who said? I don't know who said, but who said that you have to listen to him?
Oh, I don't listen to him clearly, but it's not sensitivity. It's it's important stuff because there are people out there who are going to say, you know what, I got to go out there and buy that laundry tag. Because the laundry tag is the second best one. I can't afford the logo man. Can't afford I gotta go get the laundry tag.
In every car. I can't afford the LeBron refractor, so I'm gonna get the LeBron Topps Chrome base. Yours is just a little shinier, Cage.
And they get hurt.
Oh my God! It's not even gold. Is it even from a different piece of cardboard that it was printed on?
Pretty much, yeah. So tell me, what logo man are you chasing?
Festus Ezeli.
Do they make it for soccer?
Sharif Abdul-Rahim. Love that guy. That was a stud.
He was actually a very good ball player.
If I could be real, Iverson logo man would be sick. That
would be pretty cool.
I think Iverson's so underappreciated. And by the way, why does no one buy Shaq?
He's back on that, folks. Dude, I think you're going to bring about the Shaq revolution. I think you're going to bring it back. I think people are going to be starting to buy Shaq solely because of you. It's going to be fantastic, and you should take credit for it when it actually happens. I think it'll be great.
I think people are starting to get to know me. Dude, I just want to have conversations. I don't pretend to be this guru or logo man's next or this is not. I just live life, and I see stuff, and I'm like, this might be a cool conversation. Let's have it with Cage, and then let's have it with our community and see what people think.
So I think the problem I have with that is sometimes in order to have a conversation and speak about it, you need to know your ass from your elbow. And sometimes you make a couple statements that are out there, and I'm like, I don't even know what the hell he's talking about. And I think people listening probably think that sometimes too. So we could have a great conversation.
The amazing thing about this, though, is it cost me $0 to produce. No one can shut me down except for YouTube. So I could be on these fucking airwaves all day.
Well, listen, I'll give you credit for
my elbow and wiping my ass at the same time.
Your Shaq take is a good one because I happen to agree with that, but that's nostalgia driven because I like Shaq. Logo man, not so much. And maybe it's not you.
Crowned by Cage. Cage approved tape. Can you please send me that NFT? It's like a circle with your face on it.
Yeah, the button.
Please send me the button. Approved by Cage.
No, but I think it's not. And let me apologize to the listeners about my logo man take. Maybe I've just got logo man, what do you call it? Maybe I've overdosed on Logo Man over the last couple of weeks because maybe it's literally all I've seen and all we've heard about, all we've talked about is the triple Logo Man, and then another triple Logo Man gets pulled.
You know what it is?
It's just Logo Man.
You're
everywhere.
playing Pinnacle at table 9. Table 22 is just getting rowdy. They're playing strip poker. Girls are taking their shirt off. Guys are having fun. They're yelling and they're laughing. And you're like, what are those little kids over there, table 22, doing? Don't they know that this is a nursing home? They can't behave like that.
Is that what you think happened with the triple Logo Man? You think they played a game of strip poker? How do you think?
It's fun.
I don't know if they got their buy-in back.
I don't even know if they saw a nice pair of melons.
Oh, listen, man. I mean, I love having a daily show because we get to talk about crazy stuff. We get to talk about a whole bunch of nothing. It's become almost like Seinfeldian. But I got to tell you, I would love to go a month without seeing a Logo Man. And then maybe I'll respect Logo Man again. Maybe it's just because they're in my face, and every single day it seems like there's another Logo Man. I saw another Logo Man. There's a triple Logo Man. And if you have a brain here, guys, you have to see what's coming next, right? Just like Kabooms got popular and they were not printed, and Color Blasts were not printed the same way, they were all everyone talked about. And then Panini said, well, I guess we got to make a shit ton of Kabooms now. And there's Kabooms in everything. There's Kabooms everywhere. And it seems like there's a Kaboom in every pack, unless I'm opening the box. There's Color Blasts everywhere. They're not numbered, right? Well, I have a feeling the Logo Man craze is going to find a way to seep its way back into, products in the coming years. And if you go back, and one of the things Andrew doesn't talk about, when I asked a very softball-y question about, hey, how many Logo Men are there? It's actually a lot more than you know. Because Logo Men used to be produced not just one of ones. So these jerseys used to be cut up like crazy. And if Panini's doing their thing now where it's this card is not, the relic on this card or the jersey on this card is not from any game, specific used event, whatever it is, then they can go to Dick's Sporting Goods and buy 1,000 jerseys and cut the Logo Man out of them and stick them in a card.
They don't have retail instead of wholesale.
Oh, you know what I'm saying. I just wanted to say Dick's Sporting Goods because it's a funny name. I want to go to Dick's.
Breakers would not make money buying directly from the LCS.
They wouldn't.
Breakers going to be
point being, maybe next year you see Logo Man out of 6 or out of 8 or out of 12 or out of 18, which, by the way, do exist. Logo Men out of 18. And maybe you start seeing that. It's going to be Logo Man everywhere. And I wonder what happens if there's Logo Man everywhere, if people still like the Logo Man as much. The hobby has a way of taking something that is good and just beating it to death.
Didn't you beat Pete Alonso base Topps Chrome to death? Did you not? Why? Because it's a different game? It's a different game?
No, no one was doing that at the time. And then everyone was doing it. That's the same
no one
game.
was sweeping the floor on eBay. They were sweeping it on OpenSea.
They were not buying every Pete Alonso. That's true. And then everyone was buying it.
Cage is the first and the only Guinness Book of World Records to genie sweep eBay. It's a fun fact.
They got bought by Uniswap.
Interesting.
Yeah, you're gonna get you used them more than twice before April, right, Genie?
Maybe just once.
If you use them more than twice before April, you actually get a drop. You get an airdrop from Uniswap.
Why don't we ever talk about that weird period when the Magic airdrop period would just give us money in NFT land?
That was, listen.
That was happier times.
Let me tell you something.
It's funny. We're all fucking hypocrites. That's the issue. In today's society, we're all hypocrites. We're like, U.S. government, stop printing stimulus. This is absurd. Hey, NFT land, give me open DAO. Drop that shit in me. And you know what? I'm going to hold it till it moons.
Listen. Some people would say that the hobby went through their airdrop period too, where it didn't matter what you opened, what you bought, what you graded, you were making money on it. And I think part of why I'm so sour is I think we've swung it in the other direction. No matter what I open, no matter what I grade, no matter what I do, I'm losing money.
Well, that's not we'll get back to making money. I'll tell you, one thing we could learn from NBA is NBA has done an amazing job, and I don't know if you guys realize this, of incorporating professional sports and WWE and in one. And you see this, like, think about it. The NBA season stopped, right? Over. Mm-hmm. You watch NHL season stopped. It's done. No one's going to talk about it for 4 or 5 months. NBA season stopped. There's more press. Where's Kyrie going? Look at Kyrie's reaction, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Dame posted a picture with KD and his long ass legs sitting in an uncomfortable chair doing an interview.
Right. Look what happened in the draft. The Detroit odds. Detroit looking better than people thought. Look at the odds of Detroit now. That might not be the craziest long-term bet, right?
What they know that I think we should incorporate into the hobby is drama sells. But as long as behind the scenes, you guys understand that at the end of the day, we all have a common mission, and that's to grow the hobby. Their common goal is if they grow the NBA, they all get paid more. Even the players that can't make a shot right now are making $20 million a year.
But the boy who cried wolf does not work in every sport. Because soccer rumors come out, and they are literally wrong.
Give Cardporn a little more credit. He had an amazing post today with SGC.
No, but I don't Cardporn. I'm talking about soccer news. I didn't say Cardporn.
Cardporn was the boy that cried wolf, and he's changed his tune, and he's done an amazing job with his page.
I'm saying, wow.
Ever since his Ben Simmons take on me, it's been nothing but rainbows and sunshine.
So, soccer, you're always getting an announcement that, hey, this guy's going to play for this team. Messi's going to join the MLS.
Stupidest thing ever.
So it's okay to have drama. It's okay to have headlines, but they have to be true every once in a while. Otherwise, people are like, yeah, that's just a soccer headline. That's bullshit. You can't believe those. So there's such a thing as crying wolf too many times.
The thing is that with NBA, we know Shams, Waj, those are the guys that drop. Windhorst, those are the guys, or right from the player's mouth, that you're going to get the right info. In soccer, it's like TMZ reporting, but we just don't know that they're the European TMZ. Like if TMZ was like, "Hey, Kyrie's going to Portland," we'd be like, "TMZ's stupid." But we just don't know what the European TMZ is that's saying Mbappe goes to Madrid.
Yeah, all true. Valid. So your idea is that we should just have some more drama in the hobby?
No, my idea is that if there is drama and calling people out and just like the fun stuff, like I mean, I'm not going to give you guys a fucking playbook. Understand that there's a common goal, that there's a common purpose, and that's if the hobby grows, if there's more participants, if there's more money, if there's more fun, if there's more high-level sales, everyone will benefit. Dude, Andrew, you're an idiot. Dude, you're such a millennial. That's just a pipe dream. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer. Shut your mouth.
Okay.
And buy a Logo Man, for God's sake.
I'm going to, as soon as we're finished, I'm going to look up Logo Man right now. I got to add one to my collection. And I got to go 101 too, obviously. I have a 101.
All your whatnot money goes to my PayPal.
If you ask, it's true. If you ask Ian what we have a 101, what the guy's name is, he said it on live the other day. It's Luke Cucci, is what he calls him. It's Luke Kuechly, the linebacker from Carolina. We pulled it out of a pack, and we SGC graded it a 10, but he calls him Luke Cucci.
I'm a little sick of your sob story with not pulling. We all go through tough spells. Okay, you didn't get in the Top Shot queue for almost a decade.
Never. Not a single one.
Well, you were shitting on them on Twitter for a while.
It's true. It's very true.
You moved back to Cardland. We welcomed you with open arms. Okay, so you've had 10 bad packs. Dios mío. Just be a little patient.
That's it. I just got to buy more. Just got to buy more. That's what it is. Got to buy in volume. Eventually, 1 out of 5, 1 out of 10 boxes, there'll be something good in the whole case. I just got to spend more.
I think that there's something that when you start opening packs and not hitting anything, your brain, you start wiring yourself that it's like finding, like how funny it would be if you could know what's inside that pack. And if like you pulled the one on the right, but the one on the left had a Logo Man and you didn't want that, you put that Logo Man right back.
How funny would that be? It would be about as funny as jumping off a bridge. What do you mean, how funny would that be? It would not be funny at all. I would hate it. I would hate it. Are you kidding me? Oh yeah. Yeah, by the way, it's like when you watch Deal or No Deal. It's like you could have had that suitcase, but you got that. Oh my God, that's the one that had the $1 million in it. Get out of here! I would go crazy because that has happened, I'm sure, to me many more times. I've picked the wrong one than the right one. There's got to be. But listen, here's the thing. I don't want it to come off as negative. I love the hobby. You have to just know what you're getting into is the point. right? You have
You
to know
hate
what
Jerry
you're getting
West.
into.
That's really the crux of it all.
It is. I mean, a triple logo man is simply a Jerry West card. No matter what anybody else wants to say, you're buying a Jerry West card, folks. 3 Jerry Wests on one card. Which one would you rather have, LeBron?
In 100 years, aliens are going to come down and be like, this is an error card. This isn't even LeBron.
Let me ask you something, and then we can wrap up, okay?
Always rap.
LeBron triple logo man gets pulled during the whatnot bounty period of Lamborghini. And then the Golden
Dre,
State
Clay,
Warrior
Bird.
triple logo man gets pulled right after they win the championship. Like, you couldn't have asked for better timing for those to be pulled. Is that just coincidence?
I've been saying it since day one. Those backyard guys are scumbags.
No, you haven't. You have not said that once. See, this is what you're doing. This is the drama.
They rigged the deck. They put logo men on the bottom of their 52 card decks.
Love it. Absolutely.
What's the question?
Love it.
Is it
Just a coincidence? The timing is just a
in
coincidence.
21? They know when the deck is hot, right? I think the manufacturers knows how to get a hot deck in a certain area.
Oh, so you are buying into some conspiracy a little bit. All right. I like it.
I don't know
Well-
if that's conspiracy. I think that's good business.
That the manufacturer is going to give loaded cases to specific people. Wouldn't be good if it gets found out that that's going on. I mean,
The optics would not be good,
no.
but the press would be.
I mean, correct.
And here's what we've stopped doing, and I can't believe I'm not. Adults can understand nuance. The internet cannot understand nuance, but adults can understand nuance. So for the hobby, people might be disgruntled and upset about that. But from a business, I want to get my best cards into the hands of people who break the most cards and who have the most viewership.
Is it possible maybe that the breakers don't want that? Think of the other end.
If they want to make
right?
less money.
Now those 2 logo men are pulled and most of the product is garbage, and maybe I'm not going to say garbage, but now that the chase for those cards is over, maybe what they get for the rest of the product is
They get
less.
notoriety.
So, okay.
Those are the guys that pulled it.
But that's a little different right now. It's negative notoriety. People are pulling it and have to do videos of like how come they're the ones that pulled it. Think of another one. Just bear with me here.
Sure.
2018 Prism.
Dude, this could be a 2-hour marathon. We have never done a 2-hour episode. I'm happy to do it.
I don't want to. I'm surprised I made it this long. 2018 Prism,
That's what she said.
the Luca 1 of 1. Nice job. The Luca 1 of 1. No one knows if it's been pulled yet.
What do you mean?
So-
That Shine sold that card.
Not just the regular base.
Did you
Prism
block
1
Shine
of
after
1.
you saw that sale? Because I was also a logo man. Sorry.
Not a logo man. The 1 of 1 Prism. They're not logo man. We're talking about Prism here. The Luca base 1 of 1. Black. It has not been. It may have been pulled, but it is not pulled publicly. It wasn't pulled by
Yes.
Backyard Breaks or Leighton or somebody. And because of that, people still open that. And the price of those boxes still probably carry a little more weight. It's like when you're opening packs of an NFT or whatever it may be, Top Shot. Oh, well, that number 1 cereal is still out there. It's still in packs.
That's a theory, though. That let me say it's a theory that because that card hasn't been pulled, that's why people are pulling it, or those packs hold weight.
Well, it's a theory that the reason why Flawless prices went up was because people were trying to pull the triple logo man. And
I think it's naive to compare Prism to Flawless.
Okay.
Prism has way more quantity.
Not the point. So you're completely missing everything. So take that out. That was an example of a product that, let's think, Panini did not put the best card in the hands of Backyard Breakers. Okay, it's a product. I'm giving you an example of a product that's well known that people still don't know whether or not the main chase in that product has been pulled. Let's go back to Flawless. Okay, if instead they put that triple logo man in a box of somebody in Asia who opened it up and kept it and never saw the light of day. Okay, they're keeping it for their own personal collection. People would still be chasing the Flawless boxes. Drake would be back. There'd be another Lamborghini. and the price of the Flawless boxes would be more. So you are probably right that putting it in the hands of Backyard Breakers, if that's what happened, was good for Backyard Breakers, probably good for Panini because it got notoriety, it got publicity. But I would think that it may have also lessened the price of those cards, and maybe the other end of the spectrum of those sealed wax. Maybe the other end of the spectrum is Breakers don't mind if a card is in Asia or Europe and pulled and no one knows about it, or hasn't been pulled and it's not public.
Why would you want a card like that leaving our ecosystem or enriching another?
Not the point. The point is that it hasn't been.
And the second thing is, Luka wasn't a chase back then. And
Luka wasn't the chase?
Was Luka the chase in 2018 when all the product came out?
He was always the chase. I mean,
Luka. You said Luka was like a $5 card for his base. He was not. He wasn't
correct. That's not the point. The point is that's the first one that came to my mind of a sealed product. That if somebody came out and said, okay, that card has been pulled, I believe the price of sealed wax goes down. Right? So we're having a conversation now about whether or not it's good business and who it's good business for products to be
erroneous. Erroneous on all counts.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. We got another 50 minutes to go.
The price of wax is cheaper.
I don't know that.
Maybe,
you're right. But I also don't know that Backyard Breaks is gaining from being the one that opens it. That was what you said. You said Backyard Breaks gains notoriety.
Any breaker gains
negative notoriety. And Panini gains, and all the breakers are happy. What if Backyard Breaks has the last remaining 200 cases of Flawless, and that's why they were the ones that pulled the Steph Curry, right? So they pulled these two, but let's just assume. But now by pulling that, the price of those boxes, the price of those cases goes down 20%. They are going to make less money on that product. You may be right. There may be some counterbalance to their notoriety that they pulled that and people are like, wow, Backyard Breaks, they get everything. Oh, you got to break with them. Sure. But I believe tangible that once that gets pulled and it's pulled in such a public way that the price of the wax does take a dip. I think we saw it when the triple logo man hit.
Is this far-fetched? That Luka Black gets pulled.
Yes.
Gets sold.
Mm-hmm.
That's a record sale. Does that have a pull-up effect on gold, black, gold, other grades? Other Lukas of that?
Probably not.
Other one-of-ones?
Probably not, because everybody knows the one-of-one. Everybody knows that there's 10 golds. You know, it doesn't really...
But what if a Luka one-of-one Prism sells for $3.2 million? Does that make Trey's one-of-one $700,000? And we maybe initially estimated it to be $300,000.
I mean, sure.
It could also have a good effect. It's good. It could also have a positive in terms of price appreciation effect.
I doubt on the wax.
It might not have no effect on the wax.
Yeah, I doubt on the wax. I think the wax, having that chase out there always helps. You know what I mean?
I think people who probably skipped, end of June, they skipped a few workouts. They might have listened to us on the toilet. This is a workout episode. This is one you might be doing tread sprints for 90 minutes here. You might be going an extra 17 minutes because of how hyped you are. People love these episodes.
All right. What else do you want to talk about? We've got Logo Mans. Obviously, you like them and I don't. One-of-ones. I've never had an opportunity to really, purchase a great one. I guess that's not true.
I hear Shaq Market's going to pop, so you should buy some Shaq one-of-ones.
I don't... Shaq one-of-one. I mean, the Golden Auction, some really interesting results. I'll do a 2-minute little a monologue here for people out there who may be feeling this, but don't think that they think they're the only one. I'll tell you from my own standpoint. I'm feeling like my strategy of collecting might not have been the best one from a valuation standpoint. I love the Michael Jordan 86 Fleer rookie. And obviously, look, it moves up, it moves down. It was a high point, you name it. But there was a time, and Andrew and I talked about this, and we talked about a bunch of people. The PMG Red was less money than the Jordan 86 Fleer by a long shot, and I had an opportunity to trade for one I think it was an 8.5 or an 8, I forget exactly. And if you look at the most recent Golden Auction, I think a 7 sold for over $400,000, and the Jordan rookie sold for 204. So, it's one of those things, right? We say don't look back, it hurts your neck and all that other craziness. But, what I'll say is, yeah, I mean, for right now, I feel like I made a mistake. For right now, I feel like, I should have done the trade. I should have sold that card. I should have moved that card. But I'm not trading it. I'm not going to sell it. Tell me why I'm wrong. Tell me why I should sell it. Tell me why I should just get rid of my Jordan card right now and pay $400,000 for a PMG.
First off, all the years of schooling and law school have paid off because I taught you how to ask questions where you get the answer that you want. You are amazing at that. I don't know if you should sell it or not. I don't love this whole revisionist history and the woe is me culture. I didn't make as much profit as I possibly could have. There's people hurting a lot more than you realize. I'm not sure if Cage is still with me or he's back. There's people hurting that just aren't even profitable. So maybe there's that. There's people that aren't healthy and don't have money and have bills and shit like that. There's that. And this whole if I bought this one, I would have made $600K, but this one I only made $200K is absurd. So that's where I go with it. His phone's going to die. What an episode. Energy. Bouncing off the walls. Does Cage and Andrew agree? Do they hate each other? Are they breaking up? Do they love each other? Is this how they reunite? Amazing stuff. Start the headlines, all that stuff. Make your predictions. Let us know in the comments. Cage is on mute because he can't talk. I have made him speechless with my narrative today. Let's go. Bye, Luca Nation.
Thank you all for listening to another episode of Lucas, Tigers, and Bronzo Mai. I wanted to tell you about a new service that we have starting as of today, and I'm really, really excited to bring it to you guys. So as a part of our partnership with SGC, we got 50 free submissions every single month, and many of you have taken advantage of that. And it's amazing that we could have the opportunity to 650 episodes, 675 episodes in, to go ahead and give back to our community. As people were sending those cards in, they asked, can we send 5, 10, 20 more cards to you guys? We'll pay for it, but we wanted them graded with SGC. You guys know SGC is turning cards around in 13 to 14 business days, have incredible customer service, and their secondary market values are going up day after day after day. And that's exciting for the hobby and exciting for the grading landscape. So we didn't want to just rush into it. We wanted to do it right. And what we did was I relocated here to Boca Raton, Florida. I opened up a P.O. box maybe 5 minutes away from SGC, and I will be hand delivering and hand picking up the cards. So you don't have to worry about anyone else touching your cards. It will be me, and I will update you every step of the way. So here's how it's going to work. I'm going to personally pick up the cards from a P.O. box, prep them, new card saver, new penny sleeve, and deliver them to SGC every single Tuesday. Why Tuesday? Well, it lets the stragglers over the weekend come back through on Monday and gives me a day to prep, and it basically gives SGC the entire week to work on grading those cards. Once your cards pop, only then at the end of the process will you be paying for the service. It's $25 per card, simple as that, and the turnaround times have never been faster. We're hearing right now 13, 14, less than 20 business days. So there it is. 9170 Glades Road, number 135 is the P.O. box in Boca Raton, Florida, 33434. 9170 Glades Road, number 135, Boca Raton, Florida, 33434. Of course, you could shoot me an email or shoot me a text anytime, and I'm always available. Many of you already have my email. It's iamandrewgoldberg@gmail.com. or my cell phone number, 215-519-9154. Reach out with any questions. I could walk you through the process. I've hopped on the call with quite a few of you, and I'm happy to do that. Love you, Luca Nation.